Here's a question. Is TRD Pro the best off-road package from the factory that you can get? Well, here I have the newest member of the Toyota TRD Pro family. This is a 2023 Sequoia TRD Pro. And in this video, I'm gonna show you all the way around it, share all of the specs that we have so far, and we do have much more data on this one now, and also show you how it compares to some of the big competitors in the segment like the Chevy Tahoe Z71, maybe even the Ford Expedition Timberline package for off-roading. But let's actually take a step back with me. I'm here just northwest of Dallas, Texas at the Toyota event. This is the first introduction of the new Sequoia. It is an all-new vehicle. And the reason why I'm showing it to you in profile is because I wanted to show you the wheelbase of this beast. There's a quick side note. Toyota has been building legendary off-roaders for a long time. I'm talking about, of course, the Land Cruisers over the decades. And those Land Cruisers have always had 112-inch, about a 112.2 wheelbase. And that was meant for global, worldwide off-road requirements, capability, and durability. The Sequoia, since it was born actually in 2000, about 22 years ago, it had always 122-inch wheelbase, and same here. 122 inches, about 10 inches longer than the Land Cruiser wheelbase. Why is that? Well, I'll show you that in a second. Here's a preview. Makes for a larger rear door and also easier egress to the back seat. So this is kind of an American US requirement. By the way, this model here is a pre-production unit. You can see some of the shiny components. So don't judge it on the shiny components. Let's take a look at some of the hardware that's underneath it. So it does have a pretty decent wheelbase. Maybe the breakover angle struggles a bit, but Toyota does not list it. But you could see underneath massive skid plates, especially for the fuel tank. So Toyota is prepared for this thing to go off-road and take a beating. There's also a massive skid plate in the front. You could see that underneath the engine and transmission over there. So let's start in the front now so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The styling is all new. It is related to the Tundra, of course, but I think this is even a little bit more attractive than the Tundra, especially with this body color. What do you think about this orange, huh? This body color, grille surround, and unique design here on the sides. The approach angle is about 23 degrees. I really wish Toyota would have had a better approach angle. For example, the Silverado ZR2, I know I didn't want to compare it to a pickup truck, but the Silverado ZR2 has cutouts here for approach, and that's about 31.8 degrees of approach. So maybe later on they'll do something over here for a little bit better approach angle, but it is right now what it is. Also, if you notice this plastic cover, really nice fog lamps, but no tow hooks. So it is related to the Tundra. So just like the Tundra, there are no tow hook attachments. Let me go look underneath. But you do see this massive skid plate, also massive red anti-sway bar, and then you see those Fox shocks. The TRD Pro is very special. Does offer 2.5 Fox shock system, tuned specifically for this vehicle, of course, and tuned for higher speed off-road running, which I'll have another video actually where I'll show you exactly how it rips around this course that Toyota has prepared here in Texas. But if you look at competition like Tahoe Z71, Z71 can be ordered with air suspension. It goes up and down. This one is not height adjustable in the TRD Pro. The Z71 has a smidge more ground clearance. This has 9.1 inches. The Tahoe Z71 with air has about 10 inches of ground clearance. So similar ground clearances for them. And of course, this has special shocks, which is unique for the segment. When you're looking at Z71 or like the Timberline This is a premium shock package on this. Now let's turn our attention to wheels and tires. Forged 18-inch nice BBS wheels. I like the styling. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you continue to like what Toyota is doing here. This is a 33-inch tall Wild Peak AT 83W Falcon tire. I'm glad that they went with a 33. The size here is 285 65 R18. I guess, of course, you could always go bigger, but for this family 3-row SUV, truck-based SUV, this tire I think is plenty, but it may need a suspension lift. If you're really serious about off-roading, I think you may need to do a suspension lift, and that comes later. Toyota hasn't said quite yet, but they might offer a approved lift kit, kind of like what they're doing with the Tundra. So that would be nice to see. Then you have a really beefy side step. You can see that right there. It's TRD labeled, really massive. Then in the back, departure angle. You can see this hitch cover is off. It also shows you the hitch design and of course 7-pin connectors. This one can tow, well, a 2-wheel drive model of the Sequoia can tow about 9,500 pounds. This 4-wheel drive can tow in the neighborhood of about 9,000 pounds, which is still a lot. 20 degrees of departure, which is once again a little bit problematic. And there's a spare tire under here. And this has a solid rear axle. Let me show you on the side. Multi-link system, springs, not leaves. You can see once again the Fox shock right here, including the anti-sway bar, which is down here. So it has the well, Toyota doesn't list exactly the articulation spec at the moment, but you can see I'm here articulating just a little bit. And the important part about off-roading is keeping all 4 tires on the ground so you can have really great traction. So now, we can see the approach and departure angles are not quite the best in class here, but let me show you the technology. Come inside with me if you want to step aside on the other side. Okay, welcome. Let me start this up because it is quite warm. Turn off my ventilated seats. Turn down the fan just a little bit. I'm gonna sync it up. Turn it down. So if this reminds you of the Tundra, you're not wrong. It shares a lot of things with the Tundra, including the frame and the chassis and the suspension design, and of course a lot of the interior. Really nice chunky steering wheel. Of course it says TRD here in red. You have your marker up here, 12 o'clock, so you know exactly where your steering wheel is. Digital cluster here. Premium. It does have multi-terrain select system. And let me show you here. Okay, I've been idling here for a very long time. It also has crawl control system. So you can see that symbol blinking up there. But as soon as I can get it level, let me back up just a hair. I can show you some of the drive modes. So everything is controlled right here. Of course, you have 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. There's no 4-wheel auto setting like the Tahoe and the Ford Expedition do, which is a little bit of a bummer. But this is a really heavy-duty transfer case, so Toyota went for a little bit more strength there. Then for drive modes, let me show you that. Of course, you have Eco, Sport, and Normal. Then the multi-terrain system, multi-terrain select, has dirt, sand, mud, and deep snow, just different traction modes. And the crawl control system, you can enable or disable. And then I'm going to go into neutral. And I'm going to push this into low, right there, disables traction control. And then also the crawl control system can be controlled right here. So it has all the tech, and I think the technology, and also the rear locker, let me show you that really quick. Rear locker is right here, selectable. So it has a lot of the tech, a lot of the cameras, as you can see here, 360-degree views that you would expect in the latest vehicle. So I think if you rate it, I wouldn't rate it at the very top of the segment. Let me move this way. I wouldn't rate it at the very top of the segment, but I would say that it's really, really capable because the tires, I think the tires are pretty grippy all-terrain tires. It has the four-wheel drive system with the locking differential. That's quite good. And then it has the four-wheel drive system and the drive modes and all the tech. Oh, and of course it has hybrid powertrain with 570 pound-feet of torque, 437 horsepower, 10-speed automatic. All Sequoias are actually hybrids. So it has plenty of torque, plenty of power. Price is going to be available next week. And I can let you know that these Sequoias will go on sale in the fall of 2022 in just a few months. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next one, and you can find us at alltfl.com for everything automotive.